In this video I'll show you how to set a 4 round claw setting. Check it out. This is a new setting blank. It's the SB1 version 2, and as you can see it's got 4 settings on here, so you get more chance to practice. And one of the settings is a 4 claw round prong setting. Very easy to set, so let's get cracking. As always, we put a marking on the inside of the claws, and I set my dividers to approximately the distance between the table of the stone and the outer edge, or the girdle of the stone. And if you're a little bit unsure, just open your dividers up a fraction. You're much better off having the claws a little bit longer on top of the stone than too short. So the setting I've got on this is just over 1 mil, and I'm going to just put a little scratch on the inside of the claws. Once you've done that, we're going to put a little cut on the inside. You don't have to do this if you're well practiced at claw setting. You can go straight onto using the burr to put your cuts in there, but this will just help to steady the burr as we get started. So we're only going around about 1/4 to 1/2 way into the thickness to start with. So now I'm going to use a heart burr, and the one I've got set up here is 3 mil, so you can use any size heart burr. If it's very small, it's harder to do this. You've got to exercise a little bit more control. So the larger ones are easier, so anything between 2.5 and 3.5 will be perfect for this. But you will find that the burr will ride through the gap there, so you do have to really control the cut. So just watch as you're coming up towards the edge. Because it's a round claw, it's not going to grab the burr and rip around as much as the square one would, but still be very, very careful. Get it going fast to start with, and then slow down as you're finishing off the cut. Now we're going to leave a lot of the metal on top there. We're not going to shave much off from the inside because we're going to have these nice rounded claws. So go to the opposite side and cut in. Now I'm just cutting just slightly less than halfway into the thickness to start with, and I'll see how I go from there. Now I'm also making sure that my burr is straight this way, so following the line of the claw, so watch it's not tilting one way or the other. And do the other two. Now the SB1 original setting blanks only have the 2 settings on there. You've got a 6 claw that's got the rounded claws, and it's a really good practice setting, but this is a brand new setting blank that I've only just put onto the market, so I do apologise if you've already bought the original SB1 blank, but they are still very good value, and you still get to do all your practice with them. Just get more practice with this one, that's all. Okay, so we will try now, see how we go, fitting the stone. I'm just going to tilt the burr slightly down into the setting there, so it's not going straight now, it's just slightly tilting down, and that will just allow for the pavilion of the stone to sit correctly into the setting. And this angle, this filming angle should hopefully show you a better view of what I'm doing. So I'm just running down a little bit from the undercut here. So now I'll just tilt the stone in and tuck it into 2 of the claws there, and just see how the other 2 claws look. What I need to do is just pull these 2 back a fraction, and I'm just going to bend them from the actual cut rather than down close to the bezel. So you'll see it's only bent away at the top there. I want to try and minimise the amount of bending and pulling I do on the whole claw. So ideally we want to push it in and have it sit in there, friction fit in there, and be almost set as it's seating into the setting. And you could just hear it click as it went in there. I'm just checking the level, and I do have to pull that out because it's not quite level, as you can see there. So just make an adjustment. Just need to lower this cut here. You can see it's just a fraction high. Just give that a little trim there. I think the pavilion was just catching on the undercut, or the lower part of the seating cut. And we'll try that again. So I just use a brass pusher to push it, and you could hear it click in there. And that is a lot straighter. I think it's just catching on the upper part of the cut on the other side. Just need to level that, make it the same as the others. That's more like it. And that should sit level now. Okay, that's looking good. So now I'm just going to close the claws onto the stone using my chain nose pliers, and you can see I'm resting the jaw on the straight claw that I didn't bend out, and now I'm just going to push the other one, so I put it back to where it was originally. The same with the other side. Just rest one jaw and then squeeze the other one. It doesn't need too much pressure, and the metal that these blanks are made out of is it's an antique brass, so it has the same characteristics as a precious metal such as 14 karat yellow gold. So it's not too tough and it's not too soft. And what I'll do is I'll just give it a little squeeze evenly on both claws, and just give it a squeeze to close up any gaps. Same on the other side. Doesn't need much, and that is closed up really nicely. There's no gap at all, so we don't need to do any hammering or any downward pressure or anything like that. What we can do is move straight on to the cup burr. So let's find the right size cup burr for the claw. And this one here I've picked up is a 1.8mm, measuring from the outside of the cup. And what we want to do is put it onto the claw tip like so, and just make sure it's not going to pinch the metal, so it's not too small that it will create a groove going around, and it's not too big that it's catching on the stone at this angle here. I'll show you under the microscope. Okay, so I'll show you what not to choose. This is a cup burr that is too small. You can see that it's not the same shape as the dome of the claw, and that's going to cause a lot of scarring and damage around the claw tip. This one is the Daddy Bear, and you can see that's way too big, and it's just going to contact the stone. It's going to leave quite a flat top, not shape it properly. Too much movement there. And this one is the Mummy Bear. This is the right one to choose. So you can see the internal of the cup is the shape that we're after. It fits quite nicely. It's not going to scar and damage the claw. So whilst I've got it under the microscope, you'll see from this claw here how the stone fits really neatly into the claw. You'll see it looks very rough because I've not bothered cleaning up this casting. It's a practice piece, so don't waste your time cleaning it up. What you should worry about is getting that cut perfect so the stone fits in without any gaps around the cut once it's in. So let's get this finished. And if you've got a micromotor, you can just knock the speed down to around about 300 revs per minute. It doesn't need much, and that will just keep it all consistent without taking too much metal off. So roll around on the other one, and these look really neat. don't need to do much more after this. I'll just give it a very light clean up with a Shofu Greenie just to get rid of any lines if I see any, but that is pretty much it. So I just polish it up with a Shofu Greenie, get rid of any lines. This is okay to contact the stone with this abrasive wheel, it won't damage the CZ, and that's pretty much it. So as you can see, very easy to set, and it looks really neat as well.